G'day everyone, my name's Oliver Samuel Jessop, reporting to you from the North Queensland Freedom Network. Thank you for joining us today. Today, I'm here with the wonderful Maurice and Alison from the Inner Light Meditation Centre, where they've set this wonderful spot up in Townsville to show people a different way of thinking, living, and new ways to be. What's your journey so far, Maurice and Alison? And do you want to share a bit about why you've set this place up and what you intend to do with this centre?
So we've been in the centre now since March 2021. Yeah. We're both health professionals. I'm a mental health nurse. Ali's an occupational therapist. We've both spent many, many years fine-tuning our art and craft in relation to psychotherapy, mental health promotion, and also, I guess in a sense, alternative therapies and ways to connect with the mind and also connect with the spirit as well. The Inner Light Meditation Centre represents a space for the community. All of the modalities that we provide here, Qigong, yoga, meditation, breath work, cacao ceremonies, the men's groups that you attend, and also the conscious conversations where men and women come together within the space, are all about understanding the metaphysical parts of self and how we are connected to everything.
I want to touch on a few more things that you've spoken about. But before we do, I just want to get to know you a bit better, Alison, and learn about your background.
I've come from a background in occupational therapy and remedial massage prior to that, and Aurosoma colour therapy. And I've been on a spiritual journey, I suppose, for probably the good part of 25 years or more. Maurice was already running many of the sessions at the practice that he was at. We wanted to expand. We were kind of squeezing people in. It was actually Maurice's idea to go bigger and larger. This was the one and only place that we looked at, and it was just perfect. It was beautiful when we decided on the business name of this, and it actually came through from my husband. He suggested Inner Light, and it was just perfect because this place really is about helping others to find their inner light. So through the various modalities that we do here, that's the intention, that is the aim, to help others to find their inner light.
I'm interested to know a bit more about that, about what this space provides that's different from a lot of other spaces in Townsville.
Energy Philanthropy is a concept, actually was introduced to me a number of years ago, where it is about gifting from the heart. So where we place no conditions on this service equals this amount of money. We felt as though we had enough abundance to be able to gift to the community this space. So we wanted to have facilitators be able to come in and not feel as though I need a certain amount of numbers to be able to pay my way. We wanted to be able to empower them and allow them to shine their light in whatever skill they wanted to share with the community. We give our time and our heart into what we offer here. And what we find is that through the concept of energy philanthropy, that it is returned to us. It is placed out onto the field and it is returned to us in infinite number of ways, not necessarily in the form of monetary return. We are constantly surprised and delighted by the many ways that we receive through the concept of energy philanthropy.
So what we've found is just a great bunch of practitioners and people. And the interesting thing is they come and they go. Yes. We don't hold on to them, which is once again through this no conditions energy philanthropy there as well. We encourage people to share their experience in satsang. And satsang is a sacred gathering. So whatever modality that you might come and experience, we also encourage people to go, well, what was happening for you? And just through the sharing of that experience, that's where we gain value from it. When you place an intention upon the field of consciousness, it then reverberates and then it ultimately comes back. So our return from giving from the heart, we can then open our hearts to receive. And it's just a beautiful, wondrous kaleidoscope of experiences that life provides to us upon that return. And we've been so gifted to be a part of this container and also be a part of what we would like to invite into the new earth, into the great awakening. And I think it's really important at this particular time on this planet where there's so much fear-based narrative that is shared through mainstream media, which takes you away from seeing yourself as a sovereign vehicle. It disempowers you. This space is a space of empowerment, of finding self, of remembering and reminding how you are connected to everything.
I'm curious to know how this has been received in the Townsville community.
We find that when people walk in here, we hear over and over again how they feel welcomed and how they feel held and how they feel as though they've come home. And they're coming home to themselves. And we find that the people that are drawn to this light are those that are either sitting in the heart space or they're searching to move towards the heart space. And when they come here, they feel as though they've come home. And this is the return for us. It's in the responses when people walk in here and they feel held immediately. They're not strangers to us. They are another soul, meeting themselves through another soul. Or they would say to us that they've been looking for a long time and they have found it. So yes, very well received.
Energy philanthropy is not it's not an easy concept for some people to get their head around, from the perspective of facilitators wanting to run an event and go, okay, just, donate whatever you feel inspired to. And if you don't feel inspired to, then that's okay. So what arises for that person is, is it 70-30 that I need to? Is that acceptable? Am I giving too much? Am I giving too little? What if I don't give anything, So it creates their own, arisings, whether that's uncomfortable or whether there's an ease with that. What it does is it allows someone to, once again, have another experience. And what we find is that, so some people will naturally fall into that, okay, I've hired the place for this amount of money, this is what it's worth, and then they close the transaction. What we're still trying to bring across to people is this is an energetical transaction. You can feel inspired to donate this amount, but it doesn't mean that that's the end of this. Life keeps on giving. So it's a whole nother way of understanding giving and receiving. It's not just this for that. It's not a transactional base because that creates this closeness of it. I guess for us too, it creates our own discomfort. We'll have, 10, 15 people turn up for breath work and
we're the ones that donate the money.
And the only people who are donating the money are the people, the directors of the company. But that's okay.
What is spirituality to you? Because in Townsville, not many people perhaps are really too aware of that whole concept or the concept that you're bringing here. Some people might think it is sunshine, flowers, rainbows, lollipops, all that. And some people might think, well, is it some kind of religion? Is it a cult? That's a question that people will probably be thinking about. And so I'm interested to know a bit more about what is spirituality to you? And you spoke a little bit about the concept of non-dualism. I'm interested to know a bit more about that and your learnings and experiences with those concepts.
So duality is the up and down. It's the right and wrong. So duality is this actual world that we live in. Well, we have a north and a south pole, and that's a microcosm of the macrocosm. So the mind sees things from a very much black and white perspective. It judges things. So this is right, this is wrong. Now, we know that right and wrong isn't necessarily truth because depending on your perception, right and wrong is going to be very different. Yeah. So the world of duality, and a really simple way of looking at it is, most of us are familiar with the yin and the yang symbol. The yin and the yang symbol are complementary but opposite forces, yet they are part of the one. Yeah. So as I sit under the tree at morning time, I might get a bit of the shade. Yeah. But if I still continue to sit under that tree when it's noon, I'll get a little bit more of the shade. But in the afternoon, I'll be in the sun. Now, I haven't changed my position. However, the sun has changed position. I'm having a different experience. So duality is the positive and the negative. It's the yin and the yang. Understanding non-duality is that duality is an important part of the non-dualistic experience, that everything then comes from one. Even duality could be looked at life and death, and then that's it. And this is what we're sort of taught about. But we're not given any explanation about reincarnation. And if you do, then it's in particular religions. So, we're not even, in a sense, given a concept that we are spiritual beings that are eternal. Now, eternity is longer than forever. It's a long time. Well, time doesn't even exist in eternity. Yeah. So duality then holds the confines of what this lifetime exists. That you will be born and then you will die someday in the physical form. And everything that you experience in between is based upon the laws of duality. Yeah. Non-duality allows you to see the physical experience that you have within the laws of duality, and also see yourself as a spiritual being that exists beyond time and space, beyond this earthly existence, and also honors the earthly existence by recognizing that you are far much more than this, and this too shall pass. I would say for most of the population, spirituality is a slice of the pie. It's here's my spiritual self, here's my mental health, here's my physical health, relationship, social, that sort of thing. And they divide it up into the pie. My perception of it is that spirituality is the oven that cooks the pie. Yeah, so everything is encompassed within spirituality. And to then shift it away from the word spirituality, that everything is consciousness. We are consciousness having a human experience, and each and every one of us is having our own experience, and each and every one of us is an individual unit of consciousness. That individual unit of consciousness is a fractal of the greater unit of consciousness that we physically can see as the universe. But the universe is not all that it is. It's just a physical manifestation of everything. It's only one manifestation of it too. So when you can come to an understanding that you are connected to everything, and in a sense, and this might push some viewers away or bring some viewers towards us, is that you are God experiencing itself. So the way that the fractal that we might call God, the one, it wants to know itself. And the only way that it can know itself is it can be all present. It can be all knowing, but yet all receiving. So the way that it gets to know itself is that the data that comes from the experience that each fractal of consciousness has feeds into the main fractal of what it is, and that's how it learns about itself. The way that we could look at the universe is a way that the universe is expanding. The way the universe is expanding is through the data from every individual unit of consciousness. So you act to the expansion of the universe. Even this conversation, the person that's listening to this is adding to the expansion of the universe. Right? So that's how important you are. You are God realizing itself through this individual unit of consciousness. Now, if you can get your head around that and you want to find more, then pop in here, because that's what this space represents.
How can people find out about you guys and what you do here, and all the services that you provide to the Townsville community and to everyone?
Probably the best way is through the website, which is www.innerlightmeditationcenter.com. And on there, you will find all of our offerings on the calendar with all of the booking links in there as well. The other way is to go to the Facebook page. So that's the Inner Light Facebook page, and we're also on Instagram. Or just come on in. Invite others, bring a friend, come to the sessions, experience us, and we would very warmly welcome you.
Thank you so much both for your time, Alison and Maurice. It's been wonderful. Thank you for having me. I'm Oliver Samuel Jessope from the North Queensland Freedom Network, and that's a wrap.